I'm Chris Temple. Welcome to L Director Vision and Indie Rebel Hollywood Effects Without the Hollywood Budget. I'm here with my buddy Chris Trechter, and we are reconvening here after about almost 2 years? Pretty close.
Is it 2 year? I think you're right. Yeah, because we were doing this during the COVID, in the middle of the COVID, and it just kind of fell apart. We were life happened. We were doing our own thing, and I was busy. You were busy, so
Yep.
you were busy making this video though. That we're gonna
Slowly but
watch.
surely, yeah. So a little backstory. He gave me the challenge. I spent a week working on the script, and I got that dialed in. It took me a while to cast the movie. And I actually almost got Bill Butler, the DP from Jaws, to come be a part of the thing. He lives just down on the other side of the lake, and somebody on Facebook was going to put me in touch with him, but the dude is literally like 102 years old, and he couldn't make it out to come film with us. Understandably so at that age. But that was pretty cool. He at least knows who I am, so that was cool. And yeah, so what was the challenge that you'd given me? Let's recap with that.
So I'm trying to remember because it was so long ago and so much has happened. I think another kid moving, end of COVID, new job description for me. So let me see if I can remember this correctly. I think my challenge to you was to film. I mean, wasn't it to film like something underwater? Or
You
to
wanted me to
film?
do Jaws, but in a Montana lake.
That's right. Okay. Yep.
Yep. So that's what I set out to do. And we'll talk afterwards some of the stuff I did. I've got a whole list of talking points of technically what I learned on this film. And that was really the reason why I finished it. But I thought, I might be able to learn something from this anyway. And so I spent about a year in post-production on the film to learn about this workflow and stuff, because we shot it raw with my camera, and I learned a bunch of other stuff too, and we'll talk about that afterwards. But you have the link. It's about 3.5 minutes long. So whenever you're ready,
Okay.
go ahead and give it a view. You make it all the way through the credits?
What's that?
Make it through the credits?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, first impressions.
I loved how you had that massive thing underwater. That looked so cool.
You like that?
Like that was to me that was like, okay, that's Hollywood. That's not like open water type of thing, independent. That was Hollywood right there. I love the music kind of getting you into it. It kind of gave me that feel of the 80s, feel good. We're going out. I wish it was longer.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish it was kind of pieced out a little bit. I thought the intro would have been. I really think it's a story that could do well as more of a feature length or a longer short.
And I'm actually doing that. I'm working on a feature length script based on that, and I'm expanding it out.
Great.
So it'll be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Man, if I could get time to come out and help with that, that'd be fun.
So you want to take a stab at how I did the underwater creature for that big aerial shot looking down at it underneath the canoe?
Do I want to take a stab at how you did that?
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, let me see if I can pull that back up again. I want to cut back over to it. So you're talking like that image under the water?
Yeah. No, not the underwater shot, but the one after, which I think is the one you were talking about, with where the camera's up in the air from a drone looking down, and you see the serpentine shape move underneath the canoe. Was that the one you were talking about, or were you talking about the tail at the end?
No, not the tail at the end. I know how you did the tail. You made a tail.
Right.
I mean, it's a difference in color. It just flows really well together. You're like, okay, there's something big. I don't know exactly what it is.
And that's the whole point, is I wanted it to be slightly ambiguous, and almost to the point where somebody would see it and be like, did I just see what I thought I saw? So what that is obviously we send the drone up and there's nothing there. Yeah. It's a digital effect. I downloaded from Blend Swap, which is a website where you can get free models for Blender, a Orca. and I
Uh-huh.
stretched out the body and I duplicated that dorsal fin all the way down it to create a whole bunch of fin ridges. And I
Okay.
rendered a shot top down looking at it,
Uh-huh.
still image, brought it into
Yeah.
Nuke, motion tracked it off the canoe to make it where I needed it to be, and then I did like a serpentine warp to the shot itself. You can actually warp and move pixels around. And I animated that, and then using a blend mode and turning down the opacity and making it white so it looked like light was hitting it from underwater, little roto around the canoe to cut that out. It was actually the whole thing took less than an hour to do. And I'm like, that turned out great. Yeah, no, I love how that turned out. And then I had a lot of fun. I used a website that tells you what fonts are used in movies. So the opening credits is the exact same font they use in Jaws. Not the title. That's a different font, but the actual credits were the exact same fonts. And then you mentioned the grain. There's also jitter. When you watch these old movies from like the 70s and 80s, the titles jitter around the screen slightly because of the optical processing of layering film together. So I made sure my titles had a little bit of jitter to them. They don't fully match up completely. Any of the drone shots, they didn't have drones back then. They had cameras on helicopters, and they always have a little micro vibration and shake to them. So I've added all that in there too. Really just technically trying to emulate what they had to work with. In the color grade, I only used the red, green, and blue mixers, just like you had to do with color timing back then with film. There's no digital color correction to it. I tried to keep that as analog as possible. Shot it with the red, or not the red, RAW on my Blackmagic, and iPhone for the VHS, GoPro, and drone. GoPro was the underwater shot coming up. Sure. And tried to minimize the visual effects. The one we were just talking about with the big underwater thing, that was the big shot. Yeah. There's a couple little shots. I replaced my license plate with a license plate that actually existed in the 90s versus my current one, which is the Don't Tread on Me license plates.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then the blinking light on the camcorder, because the camcorder doesn't work anymore. So that was a digital effect, of course, too, putting that light in place. And that was all done in Resolve.
Okay.
I didn't even go to Nuke for that. Other things I played with, the canoe rocking when the monster hits it. I made sure to shoot that shot completely wide so you could see there was nobody on either side rocking the boat. We tied a piece of rope from the middle of the boat, ran it down the back underwater, and I had my wife up on the beach, and she gave it a big yank like this to actually shift the canoe back and forth. And we shot all this in 2 hours. I mean, it was a quick shoot, which was really cool.
Right.
And then, just Ace's color management for the post-production was the big thing I learned about. So I could keep that raw data as much as possible as I move it between Resolve and Nuke and Avid and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that you didn't spend a ton of time on this.
There was a lot of time in prep, but cost-wise, we spent $20 on the entire thing, which is cool. $10 to feed my actors and $10 to build the monster tail at the end. We bought the fabric from Walmart, and my wife spent 2 days making it for me. We've just found a bunch of old pillows around the house, stuffed it with that. It's got some pool noodles in there for bones to keep it rigid. And so
that's awesome.
The only thing I failed on is you wanted me to get that classic Zolly shot where he stays the same in the background sketches. And I tried shooting it with my drone because my drone has the ability to do that because I've got the zoom on it for the end shot where he goes, what the fuck? And that was going to be that shot. And I shot it reverse because I forgot how my drone actually does the thing. So I actually had the backwards version of it where everything shrinks down instead of everything grows. And it didn't look right. It didn't feel right. So I used just a shot from my big camera with it instead because I screwed it up. Yeah.
Well. Hey, you'll get it on the next one, Put it in there.
So thank you for the challenge, and we credited you in the credits about it. I think you saw. So
thank you. Yeah, too bad I wasn't able to do the one that you gave me. I got got into this new job, which is video production for teaching middle school kids, and there's a lot we're doing and growing the program and everything else. So that kind of takes up all my time, and that.
And you were moving. You're moving to a new house.
New house, great location. a lot of production quality actually over at that house. I mean, I could see us doing a lot of cool stuff.
Well, when you think you're ready to do this challenge again, let me know, and I think it'd be fun to do it again for sure. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, we'll keep you updated on when we do another one.